What's going on, folks? How y'all doing today? Welcome back to 25 Feet High Outdoors. We're going to be doing a little hunting today, hopefully. I am headed to a spot. I know you've seen it if you watched, which it should have been the last video. I went and sat on the ground at this spot after hunting a food plot, whatever. Well, the next morning after that video, I went in and I was scouting around. I hunted there, pretty much the same spot, didn't see anything, and then about 8:30 I decided to walk off in that thick stuff that I kept saying, like, this is really good cover. Well, about 20 yards in that stuff, it's just loaded with sign. So I was in there and I found me a spot where I think I can get the saddle up a tree where I can actually see in some of that thicker stuff, and hopefully I can actually effectively hunt in that thicker stuff today. That's the goal, at least. But I've got a really good feeling about it. It's, like I said, loaded with sign. It's like the deer are walking that edge between the thick pines and the thinner pines, like the wide open stuff. It's like they're walking that edge, but 10 or 15, 20 yards inside the thicker stuff. So they're staying real close to that edge, but they're still staying very protected. I mean, you can't see 10 feet into that stuff, into that thicker stuff, so from the outside. Once you get in there, it kind of opens up a little bit, but that's kind of the plan for today, is go in there. I think it's pretty possible, fairly possible, that I will go into this spot and kill a deer today. So no guarantees, obviously, but I feel really good about it. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. Hopefully it'll be an interesting video. You never know. Alright, what's up? Just got set up. I had already kind of picked out this tree the last time I was in here, but I looked behind me after I got set up, and just over my shoulder is like a big open area. Everything back here is super thick, but there's like a little opening and some trails right in front of me, and then a really open spot that looks like it's got a bunch of trails in it back behind me. Last time I came in here, I found a scrape just in about probably about 15 or 20 yards in front of where I'm at now. We don't have a strong rut in here in South Alabama usually, and in my opinion, that today is like dead between Christmas and New Year's. And in my opinion, this is when you first start seeing, when I usually first start seeing the first little bit of, just a little twinge of somewhat kind of sort of rut activity. The first scrapes I found were last weekend, and there's one or two more that I noticed on my way in. And I've been seeing rubs for about 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. So I've always heard, my dad has always said, and it's something that I have really noticed between like Christmas and New Year's, somewhere around that time frame, is when you first start seeing the tiniest hint of rut sign here in South Alabama. And then it kind of dulls off. You might catch them cruising, early January, just a little bit. But it really doesn't kick back up till the end of January on into February. We just have a super late rut, and it seems to get later every year. But all that is to say, I believe we're pretty much in like a type of pre-rut where they're not really on bed to food patterns, and they're not really on cruising doe bed patterns yet. They're like marking their territory, acting a little bit different, maybe starting to break up the bachelor groups. Stuff like that. So it's hot though, which is weird. It's like
70 degrees right now. I'm sweating right now, which is awful for end of December. But I believe we're in the pre-rut. Either way, all that's being said, I'm in a really thick, I know I've mentioned this before, these are some really thick woods on public. Right next to me is some wide open stuff, and right where I'm sitting, pretty much about 5 yards to my left, is like a trail that's about 20 yards inside of these thick woods. And what I'm assuming that to be is these deer want to walk this edge between these thick young pines and the thicker wide open, or the thinner wide open pines. But if they walk just inside of it, they can still see that edge, but they're more protected. Today that's not the case. Hopefully something good will happen. I got my old 300 blackout with me. 300 blackout, 8.5 inch barrel. I'm using 6 hours monolithic, 120 grain or 125 grain, something like that, bullet, and very excited to see how that works out. But hopefully we can test it out today on about 150 inch public land South Alabama buck. Might not happen, but it's always possible. But I gotta get quiet. I gotta get settled in all the way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Y'all stay tuned. Probably literally 8 or 10, maybe more turkeys about 70 yards away. And I'm being super careful not to spook them. But that's a very good sign that there's turkeys in here. In my experience, turkeys are very, very, very scarce on this section of public. So, if there's turkeys here, hopefully that means there's a lot less human pressure than in most other places. And hopefully that also means that maybe there's a big old buck roaming around back here too.
well, that was a pretty exciting hunt. Having those does like right under me, that was interesting. If that doesn't get your heart beating, you probably need to get checked out, because it's just so exciting to have deer that close. I think once they got like right next to me and super close, they kind of started to smell me, and I think I also left a little bit too much ground scent. But still, they never really figured me out, never really knew what was going on. Oh, I forgot I saw like 30 turkeys. That was pretty cool. I've never really hardly seen turkeys on public land, so I might have to check this spot out come springtime. But I'm really excited. Like I say, I've got a lot of confidence in this spot. It's just, I believe if anywhere that I've ever been on this section on this public land that I hunt, if anywhere out here is gonna grow a big buck, it's this spot and maybe one other that I've been to. I know there's lots of other spots where big bucks are taken and all that, but this just seems like one of those spots that's like almost 1 in a million, where it's like just perfectly set up, and there's not a lot of pressure in this area either. Like, I rarely see trucks out here in this area. It's not quite pre-rut yet, I don't think, but we're like, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to articulate this correctly. We're just touching the pre-rut right now, I think. So action should get fired up here for long. The end of January, I'm probably going to be doing more private land hunting, just because this public land, it's very hard to find a spot with no pressure during the actual rut on this public land. It's like everybody and their brother comes out and just pounds it. It's like they take off like the whole month or they take off like 3 weeks and hunt every day and like everywhere. I don't know, it's just crazy. I definitely want to come back to this spot and shoot a big old buck. That'd be the goal, at least. So if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you're new. Also hit that thumbs up, because that really helps us out a lot. The more thumbs up we get, the more of you guys can see this. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Click the links in the bio or links in the description for our merch, our podcast, all that stuff. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Always remember to live life 25 feet high.